Welcome to Legal Briefs. I'm Wes Austin. I'm a lawyer keeping you updated on the latest legal news. Governor Andrew Cuomo, he said he is not going to resign. So, I mean, he's trying to be canceled right now, but maybe Cuomo can't be canceled. I'm not sure. So they're looking at impeachment for him. We're going to be looking at the state of New York and their process for impeachment later. But first, let's talk about how we got here. Okay, Governor Andrew Cuomo, we now have 7 women who've come forward and said that he either sexually harassed them or made unwanted advances towards them. So 7. 7 seems to be the number that is too many. I think a lot of Cuomo's friends were still with him, or at least silent. 4 people, 5 people, 6. But once it got to 7, that was too many. So if anybody's in politics and you're keeping track, don't hit the number 7. I mean, if you're at like 4 or 5, you're starting to push it. Now, we also have the nursing home scandal where Governor Cuomo had directed nursing homes that they had to take patients that were infected with COVID-19, and that resulted in a lot of people probably dying from that. It's been reported people in the hundreds or people in the thousands could have been infected because of that. I don't know that we know the exact number, but we also have the scandal going on with respect to the numbers. The state of New York had underreported the number of deaths at the nursing home. So I think they had reported maybe 8,000, and I think now it's over 13,000 that actually had died at these nursing homes. And so there are investigations ongoing with respect to that. There's a lot going on, so people are upset with Governor Cuomo. Also, I'm going to put up on the screen records from an assembly in 2019 in New York. And what happened was New York actually passed a law changing the law with respect to sexual harassment in 2019. So they significantly lowered the bar for sexual harassment claims in 2019. And Governor Andrew Cuomo was the one who signed it into law. I know. That is a lesson to everyone. Make sure you read stuff before you sign it, right? Because look what happened. I mean, I don't know. I guess Cuomo could have seen at the moment when he was signing it that it had to do with lowering the bar for sexual harassment claims. But at that point, it was probably too late, right? He can't be like, Wait, what is this? We're lowering the bar to sexual harassment? We sure that's a good idea? Are you sure? I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, it just would look bad. So at that point, he's like going to have to sign it. Anyway, and this new law also extended the statute of limitations with respect to the sexual harassment claims in New York. So with all the scandal going on, Andrew Cuomo, I mean, what's going to happen to him? Will he end up in jail? Will he end up in prison? Will he end up in Washington, D.C. with all the rest of the people in the federal government? Governor Cuomo has said he is not going to resign. Okay, a lot of people are calling on him to resign, and he says, I'm not going to do it. So the state of New York is looking at impeachment. They haven't impeached him yet, but they have started an investigation into impeachment. Now, this scenario where you have a person in the government who's done something wrong that a lot of people are upset with and they want him to resign, and if he doesn't resign, they might impeach him. We actually have video of a high-ranking state official in New York talking about this exact situation. All right, roll the tape.
I believe if he doesn't resign, I believe he should be impeached. The point is the statement that we do not tolerate this as a government. That's why impeachment.
You know, before I saw that video, I was kind of thinking, you know, let's just see what the investigation says and you know, let's maybe give the guy a break. But this guy was really persuasive. I don't know, if he's not going to resign, he probably should just be impeached, right? Also, because the government should not tolerate this. This guy was good. It was very good. All right, now let's talk about impeachment in New York. All right, so this is the impeachment process in the state of New York, which is different from the impeachment process for the federal government. So you can impeach an officer in the state of New York, according to the New York Constitution. Let's go ahead and just read this little line here. The Assembly shall have the power of impeachment by a vote of a majority of all the members elected thereto. All they need is a simple majority. There are 150 members in the chamber in New York, so all they need is 76 people to vote yes, and they can impeach Governor Cuomo. Now, what do you need to convict someone of articles of impeachment in New York? You need a 2/3 vote. Let's look at the language from that same provision in the Constitution, which was, by the way, New York Constitution, Article 6, Section 24. That's what we're citing to. So looking at what you need to convict, no person shall be convicted without the concurrence of 2/3 of the members present. So you need 2/3 vote of the Senate in New York to convict someone of articles of impeachment. And if they are convicted in New York, they are removed from office and they are disqualified from any future state office. But that means they are still open to run for federal office. So even if he was impeached and convicted, Andrew Cuomo could still end up in Washington, D.C. All right? We can only hope that that will happen. Now, what are the qualifications? Like, how do you impeach someone? What are the impeachable acts? Okay, the New York Constitution doesn't say anything. It literally does not say anything about what an impeachable offense is. So like the federal Constitution, we've all remembered that, right? From Donald Trump being impeached twice. We should have that memorized. But you can be impeached for treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors, right? Those are the criteria in the federal Constitution. So we at least have something to go on there. The New York State Constitution, nothing. They don't say anything about it. So without any criteria, like how can someone pretend to think about it before they vote for conviction? I mean, you should at least give the politicians something to pretend to think about. Like in the Senate, and in the federal impeachment that we just had with Trump, at least those senators had something that they could pretend to think about before they voted to either convict or not convict. New York? Nothing? Come on, New York. Now, some legal commentators are pointing to some state judiciary law in New York that talks about the jurisdiction for impeachment trials. There's a little bit of language there from their Section 240. Let's just throw it up so we can show it to you. It says here that impeachable offenses are for willful and corrupt misconduct in office. Okay, that's not very helpful. That's super broad, very vague. It's a tiny, tiny bit helpful, but it's basically not helpful. There's still a huge vacuum with respect to what an impeachable offense is in the state of New York. So anyway, right now in New York, Governor Cuomo has not been impeached. They've just started an impeachment investigation. So I will try to keep you posted on that. As far as Governor Cuomo goes, I know he's going through a very hard time because of a lot of the things he's done. I'm sure he's not watching this, but if he is, I'd like to suggest some words of wisdom and counsel that might help him. I'm going to suggest the book. This book right here, American Crisis. This was on the New York Times bestseller list. I think he really should read this. This could help him out. Yeah. And you know what I noticed when I was looking at this? I'm going to put this up on the screen. So this was on Amazon. Let me zoom in closer and closer. Do you see it? It is an editor's pick. It's an editor's pick on Amazon. Now, recently, I think Amazon has been pulling books from some other authors that have been upsetting to some people. And it's weird that not only have they kept Andrew Cuomo's book on here, it's an editor's pick. You guys, with all that's come out with respect to Cuomo, at least take it off of your editor's pick list. All right. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.